What is going on, people? Happy Monday, and welcome to my first ever Twitch live streaming New York session. A little bit nervous, a little bit excited. I have no idea what to expect and what this is going to be or bring, uh, but I figure we're just going to give it a try and see what happens. So, first things first, just a little bit of like legal disclaimers on the bottom of my page. You'll see I have a disclaimer, obviously. What I'm doing here is not to be intended to be, um, financial advice or anything like that. It's for entertainment purposes only, but I will be doing my own thing here. And if you do happen to follow my trades, then you please know that you do so at your own discretion and that trading any financial instruments does have inherent risk. So, anyway, that is out of the way. Welcome to the stream, and I have not looked at the charts yet. I've literally just got on and got this started, and I wanted to kind of analyze this in real time. So here we go. As you can see, I only have 5 pairs that I watch. I have AUD, USD, EA, Euro USD, GJ, and GU. So I'm just going to kind of start at the top and let's see what happens. So here we go. All right. Clearly looks to be like this is an uptrend still going. Potential to hit the 800. Doesn't have to get there today, but that would be a target for me, something like that. 127 pips. Start going down. Let's look at the weekly first. So yeah, you had a nice bullish candle on the weekly. So this thing's clearly been rising. Um, Obviously since the fall off in March, but we're not going to look to sell this just yet. On a 4-hour, you had a bullish engulfing candle here. Looking good. This is starting to look good. It's still opportunities for buys, but you can see you're in a little bit of consolidation in here. So we're going to keep an eye on this. Let's go down even lower. Yeah, it's chopping. I mean, let's be honest. We could try and watch the chat too, so that's going to be a little bit difficult. Something like this is just like an Asian box, like the first 8 hours of the day, just to kind of give me an idea where I'm at. It's definitely still within this range, and you can see it's even in a bigger range. So to me right now, this is definitely just ranging, so might not be the greatest right now. Let's look here. We'll do the same thing. Start out on EA. This has clearly been falling on a weekly, daily. Yeah, falling. It's a nice target, kind of like AU to the 800, EA to the 800 as well on the downside. About 200 pips. So again, doesn't have to move today, but that's certainly a possible spot to have as a target. Certainly these lows down here, structure low, I would anticipate that. This looks good. You might see this move today. Downtrend on the hour, using this structure here, kind of like a break and then maybe a retest. This looks good. If you can see this broke out of this Asian range. The Asian range would be somewhere in here. So kind of like broke, retest. You're kind of pushing off of Asia right now. It's not bad. I'll definitely keep that in mind for short. It hasn't blown out. Let's see, ADR. This thing's got plenty of space at ADR. It's barely moved today. So I like it. Looking good. Let's see, EU. Let's get out of this real quick. Let's get back over here. So obviously, let's get rid of all this mess. EU's definitely been in an uptrend, as everybody can see. Breaking the highs here. This is another level right here at this 200 with like structure. So you could see it maybe come back up there. Daily low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days of bullish momentum. Here's the highs right here. So we'll draw that in. I think that's what I had drawn in before. We'll do like a little horizontal ray. Put this right here. We'll call this structure high. That's not a bad spot to try and aim to, because if you're going to move higher, you're going to have to test this structure from where we are currently. 147. So yeah, I mean it's not, doesn't have to move all that distance in today. Market's just getting going. It's Monday, but you know, that's somewhere that you'd want to see it go to. Now, you know, it might consolidate before it pushes up, but we're going to stay bullish on this 4 hour. Got a push, breakdowns, consolidating. Uh, it's definitely overbought. It's not really divergent, as you would call it. Like, this is still clearly making higher highs on the TDI. It's a little overbought, but that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean it's not going to keep moving higher. Come down to the hour, broke to 50, back to the 50. Still buying for now. Dollar still looks like it's weak. Let's see. Yeah, see, the dollar's just been falling off, and that's why you're seeing the rise in EU. So I'm going to try and stay long on this thing. See if anything presents. 15 minutes. Go back. Yeah, I mean, nothing great right now with this TDI in the sell zone. A lot of times if you get like a TDI in a sell zone, but you got like bullish candles, sometimes you just get like chop. So for now, I'm going to stay long bias on it, but it's not as good as EA. I like EA for now. GJ. You can see I got all my charts drawn and my channels from last week. GJ, same as EU, man. This thing's an uptrend, looking like potential to try and reset. Doesn't have to, but it broke this structure. So maybe you would say come back up to this structure here. Could retest back before moving higher. Still in an uptrend, but you can see wicks here. Kind of a little bit of rejection. Broke up, down. It's definitely a little diverging here with a higher RSI, but lower price action than here with a higher price action, lower RSI. So it's a little bit divergent, but doesn't mean just sell it. You know, I definitely want to stay long biased on this. It's holding the 50 on the hour in the buy zone. This is definitely good for longs. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. Let's get down to a lower time frame. Yeah, you can see you're at the 200 now. You can maybe see it come double bottom potentially. Retest this structure before moving up. Like I said, I'm trying to stay long biased on it. But if it fails, then you know that for the time being you're in counter trend. 5 minutes in the sell zone looks good. Looks like you could definitely come back and retest this structure. That's what I was saying. If you look on this screen over here, as I'm looking at the 5 minute over here, you know, it'd be plausible to come down and test this, because if it's going to come lower, it has to break this level first before moving lower or rejecting off of it. So right now I wouldn't be buying it. I'll keep an eye on it though. All right, let's get onto GU final. That's why I like having only 5 pairs to look at. It makes it quick. I can just bing bang boom. What's it doing? Let me get going for the day. I don't have to look over 26 pairs and just keep it simple. So you have an extreme low here from March, as everybody's been having, and then it's just kind of been consolidating. You broke out of this level right here, and now you're pushing off of this level. So definitely long biased. You're holding the 50 on the weekly. No, actually, looks like, yeah. See, when it gets iffy like this, did it break it? That's why I'm not too sure. I'm gonna stay long biased on it. 4 hour broke, a little bit divergent, a little bit. Still want to stay long biased on it. Maybe it comes back and tests here. This looks like a good area of like support and resistance. Break, maybe you get a retest and then you push higher. Not exactly sure yet. So if I'm not exactly sure, then I'm just going to keep moving on. I'm not going to try and guess. I want it to be clear. It's like I'm saying, you would see it like this. So, let me do it better for you. That seems to make sense to me. Something like this. Rejection came up, breaks through, consolidate on it, break it, barely pins to it. It's coming right back to this area here. I'll use this one. You can see like right here, this area used as support, pushed off. It's coming down. So we'll see how it holds here. Maybe it continues higher. You got about 50 minutes until the stock market's open, and then then you'll see something happening with how New York opens with the stocks. What's going on? Yo, yo, yo. Gamersy Kid. Sorry, I'm not good at reading these names, but what's happening? Welcome to my first ever Twitch. This isn't going to be beautiful, but we're going to just keep going with it, and then hopefully it's like anything else over time, it just gets better and better and better. So, what did we see? Like EA, but not completely sold on it yet. Definitely seems to be rejecting off. You have a little bit of divergence down here, like this. So if you go here, you can see how this is respecting. Then you match this up. So you can see, like, yeah, clearly it's just you're making structurally lower low, but this is a higher low. It's a higher low, but now you go lower low, lower low. So it's kind of like, and this is only 15 minutes, so you got to take this also with a grain of sand. But structure is moving down, but it's moving up on the RSI, so that's divergence. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to move higher. You still have strong bias in the sell zone, and price is still in a downtrend. So I'd like to see it come down, but I think what you're going to want to do is try and find a level of where it would come back in like a retest, because price moves in a wave. It's always going to, break, retest in a clear downtrend. And clearly you can see this is a downtrend, but it's starting to slow a little bit. You can see here, down, down, consolidate, down, consolidate, down, consolidate, down. Then it came back up, but since the overall move is down, it's starting to come down. But this, if I'm going to be honest, looks like this to me. That looks like a descending channel, if you will. So you're bouncing between this channel, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So that's going, as for now, down. 30-minute. Clean this up a little bit. This is going down, and it's just bouncing within this channel. Now, obviously what I'd like to see is like a clear break down or up to kind of give me a better idea of what's happening. But for now, you can see it's just kind of holding in here. So for now, still in a downtrend. It's also Monday too. I don't always trade Mondays. Sometimes I just come in and I just watch and see what's going on. So I might not trade anything today, but if something looks promising, I'm not going to not trade. You can see right here, first 8 hours, just as a rough guide, just to kind of give me an idea, just because I'm only trading New York. So I kind of want to make sure that, you could see it broke. Now we're holding right here at the bottom of this Asia session. So do something like this, like, okay, here's your bottom. So now I have this line here that I see at 66. I know that this is the bottom of the Asian range. Now I want to see how does it hold it and push off of it? Does it break back up into it? I'm not exactly sure, but I can see here that you have price action failing to really break this low, and you also have a higher RSI value than this one. So when you get that kind of inverse where it's like a higher RSI but an equal to or lower price action in this case, then you know there's a little bit of resistance here, and you could see it move off of this level for now. But I still want to stay short biased on it overall. We said we like GJ. GJ's coming back potentially. We'll see how it plays out. Like I said, we got a lot of time. There's no rush to get into anything. This might be just a chill stream where I just kind of sit quiet and watch things happen. Um, yeah, AU, you can see this is definitely in this zone. This doesn't really look too good. EU kind of broke the Asian range. Now it's pulling back into it. Definitely stay on a higher time frames. 15 minutes, good for entries, but it could be a little fast, so it's nice to keep a wider perspective. In my opinion, it looks like you had a bearish candle, and now you've had consolidation. Now you had another bearish candle. So that's not necessarily great if you're trying to go long. Again, we still want to stay long, but look, you can see the same thing here on the 4-hour. Came up, consolidated, broke down. Now you get this, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, like 24 hours worth of just consolidation. You might see this move more to the downside. I want to stay long on it. That makes the most sense. That doesn't mean that right now that's the move. But we'll see. Because you could just as easily, see a candle push right up and just move back up. So that's why you don't want to guess. You don't want to say, oh, I think it's doing this and take a position. We're just going to wait and react. And whatever it does, and we just react to it. It's the easiest way to trade. Why guess when the market has to move first? Here you go. You're getting a little bit of bullish momentum here. Let's dip into this lower time frame and see what's happening here. So you can see you still got plenty of space to ADR both ways. You're right in the middle. It's barely moved today. Yeah, it's just consolidating. It's just choppy. It's not making a clear move either way. So, we're going to wait for that to make a move. Let's go EA. Let's see what EA looks like here. Yeah, see the same thing on a smaller time frame on EA. If you go here, RSI low. Price action slightly falling. RSI is rising. So obviously that would make sense to be seeing on a smaller time frame if you're kind of seeing it here, because first it has to happen on the smaller time frames, and it's all fractal. Still in a downtrend, clearly in a downtrend, clearly in sell zone, clearly in a downtrend, clearly in sell zone. So I don't want to take a reversal on this and say it's going long. That's where all my losses come from. I'm just going to stay short biased on it, but I have to wait for a clear entry. You can't just jump in it now. Doesn't make sense. It's just chopping. Clearly in a downtrend. Yeah, I'd like to target this low. That makes the most sense to me. Structure low. Because if price is going to move lower, then it has to test this zone to either use it as support and push higher, or it's going to break through it, retest, and then potentially come lower. So, it's always just breaks and retests. So for me, I want to see it come down to this level. It's only about 70 pips. So that's clearly, if it's going to move lower today, that's clearly within its ADR. I mean, to ADR low on this from where we are currently, or at least where prices. Yeah, I mean, you can see this like 150 something pips, so it's only half of its ADR, if indeed it is going to come lower today. So let me get off of here. And again, using this ultimate 800 because it looks like it's fallen to it. It's broke these EMAs. It's coming down here. If I'm using EMAs, sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. But this is a good point of interest. Call this daily 800. I won't see it on like an hour or 4 hour charts, maybe a 4 hour. It's like right there. So first would be here, and then second would be here. But I still like this short. This one's definitely on the top of my list today. But as of right now, I'd want to see it maybe come back up here to this area, to the 50, to this trend line. This area here, you can see it's, kind of respecting. This is an entry here, but then just consolidated. So this is still valid. So I want to see what happens as it comes up here and see how it handles. You got these lows over here. You can see it's kind of just like ranging a little bit. Even though it's dropping, it's still technically ranging. GU moving up. Off the 800 to the 800. Yeah, I don't know about the dollar today. Let's see what these are that I drew from here. This was a previous high back here. You can see 1, 2, 3. Failed to break it. Pulled back, but the momentum is still long. So even though it pulled back, then it came up. Use this area, bang. Use it as support then after it cleared it. Now you're pushing off. So that's what that was. But we're above that, so that's not really valid right now. We're kind of using this low down in here as support. AU looks good, but it's in this range. I'd like to see it break out, retest, break the highs at least. Because if you expand this further, this is, it's more like this. Let's be honest. This is a whole range from Friday. Came into this range, pushed below it, came back into it, and now it's stuck. So why would I trade this range? That doesn't make sense. You want to see it. If it's going to go higher, you want to see it break above it, retest it as support, and then push higher. So right now it could do anything at once. That's why I'm not really a fan of that. EU is good chop too, because I could say the same thing. Because they're both dollar pairs, so they're being driven primarily by a very weak dollar. But you can see kind of hit a zone, broke into it, and now it's just stuck within this range. And like you could say, oh, well, what about that? And it broke, but yeah, they came right back into it. So this whole thing is kind of like a range. Yeah, just gonna give it some time. Wait for stocks to open, see how that moves anything. There is a little bit of delay on this stream. I think it's about 30 seconds. I think I'm about 30 seconds ahead. So right now it just hit 8:55 for me, but on the chat it's like yeah, it's about 25 seconds behind. Just so you guys know that I'm not quite in real time with what you're seeing displayed on the screen. Dollar index looks weak. Definitely still weak. You can see right here. Kind of break retest. This, again, still in a range, but it's looking weak. So you could see these pairs definitely move up if the dollar still remains weak. AU, EU, GU. But on Monday, I'm not eager to just trade and guess or anything like that. I want to see clear breaks, clear movement that gives me probable bias to the move, especially on a Monday. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna take a break for a few minutes, and I'm gonna come right back, uh, and we'll see how things are moving. There is a little bit of news today at 9:45 on Euro. I forgot about that. The ECB president is speaking. It says it's high impact, so it's not going to be like right at 9:45 where it's like boom, like an NFP or FOMC or any of those type of news events. He's going to speak on something. So once he starts speaking, you could definitely see, um, depending on what he says, you could see some volatility in the market. So you could also be seeing some pairs waiting on that news to come out. You see that a lot of times that they want to see what's being said before they start making, their moves. The financial institutions in the market, they want to, see what comes out and how they want to react to it or whatnot. So that could be something that could hold the market up for another 45 minutes, but maybe not. Still trying to figure out this whole music thing. I know if I have music on here, I won't be able to like upload it to YouTube or anything like that. So it's a little bit tricky. Usually, what I do with my trading, is I put on, some music and then it kind of like puts me in a better vibe, I guess. Like I get more relaxed and just it's all about mindset with the trading. So, CJ Becker is a she. Awesome. That's why I say people. What made you choose these five pairs specifically? I chose these five pairs because they typically are the lowest on spreads. I use Owanda, which is a U.S. regulated broker. I don't trade with an unregulated broker anymore. For the past year, I've had Owanda. It's just safer. I have more capital with them as well, so I don't want anything sketchy going on. So for these pairs, they had the lowest spread for me, and they also tend to be more of um, they're the more commonly traded pairs, so they tend to move more. And over the last 5 weeks or so that I've been using these pairs, like every week there's been activity, every week there's been moves. So it's been really awesome to see that the pairs that I happen to choose are really a lot of times in play. So that's pretty much it. Just having a lot of people trading them and having low spreads for Owanda for me is why I came to those pairs. What's up, Forrest? How you doing, man? Good morning. And the whole idea um, of five pairs is that I'll show you. This was my watch list before. Like every morning having to go through and deciding what I want to trade. Now, I have parameters that I can look for um, to kind of narrow it down, but this is there's so many pairs. There's like 26 pairs or something like that. So to me, I was and Swiss pairs like this, like Swiss is always choppy, and I said, well, I looked it up. I just literally went on Google and I said, what's the most traded pairs? And the top couple pairs were the ones that I picked. I was like, all right, great. Like, I see these to be pairs that a lot of sites are saying move a lot, and I knew pairs that I had trouble with. I had trouble a lot of time with GCAD and CHFs, and I definitely wanted a pound in there because the pound pairs move really nice. So I said, GJ is a good one, and GU as well with the dollar, and EU is the most commonly traded pair in Forex, so that was a no-brainer. So they definitely made sense to me, and like I said, with lower spreads on Oanda, it was just a no-brainer. I was like, I'm gonna go with these five and just only have to look at a few trading pairs. And it's really helped my trading out a lot. And then of course I keep an eye on a DXY just because three of my five pairs are dollar based. So I like to look and see where the dollar is because as the dollar falls, as it's been falling, this whole time, then inversely EU has been rising. So I can, use it as to help me out with my pairs. If I'm like, okay, I'm seeing weakness in the dollar and the dollar's falling off, well then AU, EU, and GU typically should rise, specifically EU, but any dollar pair. If the dollar's falling as a base pair, then the quote pair is going to fall, or opposite. If the dollar's rising, then EU is going to fall. And now I definitely use a lot of time frames. I mean, I look at anything from the daily, and as you can see, all the way down to the 5 minute and the 1 minute, because what I like to do, um, it's kind of a strat that I've worked on for a long time. I call it like an X factor, because an X setup. It's the X factor trade, because I'll look on the daily or the 4 hour and I'll see a move that's starting to happen, and I'll go in and I'll get an entry on the 1 minute or the 5 minute. So it's basically an intraday entry with a swing mindset. Now I don't swing anymore. I've really just broken my trading down to trade at 2% risk for 2R. So I look to make 4% a trade. I try my best to hit 2 trades a week, and that's my soft goal is 8% a week, which is a lot. I don't always get there. Like last week, I lost 4%, and then the week before, I think I was flat, and then 2 weeks before, I had made 8%. So I'm pretty much just kind of breaking even these last couple weeks. I'm not really gaining, I'm not really losing, but my goal is to try and get to 8% a week. And I could do more. I could do more. Like last week, I had opportunities for like 16 to 20%, and I just had a kind of a blow up day for myself on Wednesday. I got against the trend and took 2 bad losses. That was just silly. And now, one trade of a 4% winner is going to make back those 2 losses, but it was silly because had I just not traded that day or stuck with the trend, there was a trade that appeared at like 9:45 on EU. Specifically, I could go back and show you, not to recount the past, but just to, I like, you have to look back at yourself to see. And uh, what day was it? So let's see. This is Monday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. It was right here. I was getting short down here in the bottom like a dummy because I saw this 2 candle and I was like, oh, like this is coming lower. I think it was EU, or it might have been one of these pairs, but it was pushing down. GJ, I know I took, but I was eager. I never trade usually before 9ish, and this was 8:45, and I remember I took this candle. And had I just been patient, I could have took this push right here off the 50, and that went 2R. Um, and I don't think it would have stopped me out. But even so, right up to this pin was 2R, and I could have even saw a move in here if I was more patient. So that was a bummer, um, and that hurt me. And then I did the same thing on GJ. It was Monday, Friday, Thursday, right here, right off this level support. I was trying to short it. So stupid, just counter trend, feeling like the trend was ending, but clearly it was going up. Um, so yeah, all week. I mean, for the last 8 days, you could just been trading breaks and retests on EU. Break, retest to the top, doesn't go lower than there. Push, consolidate, push, retest the level, entry in here, up, entry in here, up. It's just breaks and retests, real easy in a clear trend. I don't see any places to be selling it, so I was an idiot and it cost me. So now I'm making a commitment to myself that I'm not going to trade counter trend anymore. I'm just going to stay with the trend, and if I lose, I'm going to lose with the trend. Um, do you always close within the same day? Yeah, I'm usually in and out. Usually within, honestly, less than 2 hours. Usually to get 2R probably only takes me like an hour, hour 30 minutes. Thank you, baby. smoothie. Keep me going. Um, no, I used to. So here's how I came to 2% risk for 2R. I'm definitely a little bit more risky, even though 2% isn't a big risk. If you lose, 3, 4 trades in a row, you're down 8%. That can definitely add up and, eat into your gains. But it's all relative because if I'm going for 2R, then I only have to be right 50% of the time. If I took 10 trades, um, and I lost 5 and won 5, then I'm still up 10%. Um, but 2% for 2R is just, I don't like being in trades long. I was getting in trades and then scaling out of my trades. I would get to like 2R and take half off, and then I have half of the trade running. So then it would be that I have to go twice as far to make the money that I could have made if I just pulled it. And I was losing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And I was like, this is stupid. This isn't working for me. I'm not really happy with this type of trading. So, in the interest of just, you know, doing more things that fit me as a trader and how I like to trade, I like to be in and out of the market. I don't like to hold it. I don't like taking some profits and then getting stopped at break even, which was happening a lot. And I was like, I don't like that anymore. And I had always had this idea in my mind that I always talked about and always pressed upon myself, but I never traded it. It was 2% for 2R. So I was like, you know what, man? I'm just doing it. I'm doing what fits me. I like to be in and out. I like to be a little bit more risky. And if you can hit, even if you hit 4% a week, even if you hit one trade a week in a perfect, we're going to do a perfect world scenario. If you did that 4 times a month, you just made 16%. If you did it 3 times a month, you made 12%. If you're doing 10 or 12% a month, you're over 100% a year. And I know, big hedge funds and financial institutions, they're awesomely happy with anywhere from like, 35, 45, 50%. If they can do 50% a year on a multi-million dollar like hedge fund, they're ecstatic. So if you're doing 100% a year in your retail trader account, that's phenomenal. And my goal is to do somewhere between 20 to 30% a month, which would be even more astronomical. So that's why I do it. It's simple, but the gains are really really big, and it fits great for me as a trader. And that's really all I'm trying to do anymore, is just find what fits me as a trader. And I think that's what everyone should do. Is just find what works for you. And yeah, and definitely I definitely like to be out of the trade in the day. I like to be in, like to be out, hit the 2R, and then I'm gone, and then I'm back for the next day. I don't want to spend a lot of time in the market, and that's also why I've decided to just trade New York, because I was staying up and trading London. It was killing my sleep, and I'm 37 years old. Like I don't have the stamina to be up all hours a day. And when normal times are happening, I work in a restaurant. I do a lot of video production, so I have a lot of other things going on. Day trading isn't my full-time job right now, so I don't want to be tired for the other things that I have to do. So I go to bed anywhere from 11:30 to 1. I'm waking up at 7:45, 8 o'clock. I feel great. I've had a full night's sleep. And then I'm fresh for the markets. I'm thinking clearly. I'm not making rash decisions, although Wednesday I did. But for the most part, I'm pretty consistent mentally. And it feels good. So that's what I'm sticking with. So let's see what's going on as we're approaching 9:15. Again, I am about 30 seconds or so behind you guys. Like right now, it's 25 seconds left in my chart. But when it gets to you guys, it'll probably be like, 20 seconds, or it'll be like the new candle. So trying to keep that in mind for any trades that get taken. I might be placing a trade a little bit ahead of when you're actually seeing me on Twitch. This looks good. This candle right here, but it's still in this range. But I do like this 2 candle bullish, but it's not something that I want to trade because I'm still in this range. Now, I could go higher, that's fine, but it's not. Not something I want to get into. You're still in this range. EA, kind of up in this level. Not yet. It's not what I'm looking for yet. AU, EU, GJ, yeah, not yet. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, nothing great yet. Still kind of choppy. GU. So now this is getting a little bit interesting on GU, but for the wrong way. As you can see, you have this divergence here. Let me take this in here on this 1 minute. This is the highest point. You can see that clearly divergent. You have like a flat. You have a flat to falling TDI, but you have a rising price action that's clearly divergent. Could potentially come lower. 5 minute. Let me look at the 5 minute. It's still going up. Let's get on here. This is falling though. I don't want to go against the trend, but it doesn't quite look like it's going up just yet. EA kind of looks like it's going up too. I see things. You had so much movement. Yeah, definitely Forest. A lot of chop, and it's Monday too. But you're also going to see that because over the last week, you had so much momentum. EA to the downside, EU, GU, and AU to the upside, GJ to the upside. You have so much momentum that at some point the market has to correct and consolidate. So while I don't want to go against the trend, at some point the trend is going to change. I'm going to see how it holds this level. Like I said right here, if we go to the 15 minute. I like how it's holding this. This kind of area right in here. Now you can see why the EMA's become a pain in the ass. Because it starts making everything look a little bit too so I just keep one on. But you can see now it's a little bit cleaner. You can see it's just kind of consolidating, break structure. If you could push down strong and give me some good bearish momentum, then maybe I'll let it break out and then come back for like a retest. Because I want to see it come down to the structure low. Now maybe it doesn't get there today. Maybe it consolidates and then in Asia it starts pushing lower. It doesn't have to get there right this second just because you have a target. But I do still like this to the downside. Yeah, CJ Becker. I'm gonna do this Twitch Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to about 11. Now, if I hit a trade, I'll probably get off earlier because I'm not gonna just say maybe I will. Like I'm really gonna focus on just analyzing the 5 pairs that I trade. If this does indeed grow and I get a little bit of an audience, I don't want it to be like, hey, what do you think of like AJ, or hey, what do you think of like GN? I'm doing this because me talking out loud helps me personally. So really this Twitch is for me, but I was finding that on my Instagram, I did a poll and people were saying that me talking on my story was helping them as well. So I said, okay, well, this seems to be mutually beneficial. I get benefit by talking out loud, and it keeps me hearing what I'm saying and stops me from doing foolish things. And it's also helping other people. So I'll give this a try, and I want to just focus on my pairs. But if it's a day where I happen to hit a trade and I win, then maybe I'll stay on and I'll be like, hey, what are you guys looking at today? I'll kind of go through this and talk through it with you and see if I can help you find something or stay out of something, because staying out of something oftentimes is just as good as finding something. The main thing we're trying to do is not lose. So if you can be flat or find a winner, then that's ideal. Losing is the worst. You don't want that at all. So we're gonna see how this goes, one day at a time, and we'll see what happens. If it takes off, then great, it takes off, and if it doesn't, then it's no big deal. Like I said, this is just for me, and if it helps people, then I'm happy to help people. I have nothing to sell. I'm not looking for any financial gain out of this. I'm just trying something new, and trying something new, you never know where it can take you. Yeah, see, right back down, still in the range. Uh, Forrest, if you're still here, how you making out today, man? Oh yeah, there you are. Yeah, how you making out? How's your new strat working out for you? And then I was thinking that I'm recording this today as well. Maybe I think that I can keep these videos on Twitch so people can come back and watch them. But I'm also thinking about maybe just starting up a YouTube channel. And I have to do something about this screen too. I kind of might need to get a new camera. Um, Putting it up on YouTube, like just daily videos, and then people can go back and watch them, and you know, kind of like training, so to speak. 3 losses this morning like an idiot. Well, that's no good, bro. It's no worries though. As long as you're keeping them small, you're going to bounce right back. Don't even sweat it. Yeah, a little bit of a slow morning. So for anyone, I'm not sure how many people are watching me or how many people are here. What um what do you guys like to trade? What are your sessions? What pairs, if any, do you like, or do you have a certain way of picking out your pairs? Like, give me a little bit of feedback on what you guys like to do. This might be too thick for a straw. Yeah, here comes EA, kind of falling a little bit on this 1 minute divergence. We'll see. Choppy, 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 choppy. Okay. 10 pairs, it's not bad. 8 to 3 p.m. UK time. Are you over in UK? Or at least in that side of the pond? Okay, yeah. London based. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, the thing about indicators, I was talking to a good friend of mine, Gwendolyn. A lot of you guys probably know her. Um, Gwendolyn and I were having a chat the other day, and I was saying that the only truth in the market is the candles. That is the only thing that is a 100% fact. Like if you see this candle right here and it opened here and it closed here for 26 and a half pips, that's a fact. That's irrefutable. But the indicators and the EMAs paint from that fact, but they're behind that fact. So that's why people say like they lag, and that's why people don't use EMAs. They're subjective, and the only thing that is factual are the candles and price action. So I think that price action should always be at the forefront of your trading, and then indicators as a secondary confluence. That's just my opinion. Move to stops. Direction was right. Yeah, you're gonna get that, Forrest. You're gonna get those kind of, especially like we're saying today, we're in that chop, so it's a bummer. But at least you know you're doing it right, and you're gonna make that back. It's no worries. Do you have a specific strategy for entries and exits or trade when you see something you're like, yeah, see, I've done a lot of different courses, so I kind of have a blend. I really like to just see um, two, three, four candle formations off of a key level of like support or resistance. I definitely like to trade more levels, support, resistance, breakouts, retests. Like I'll show you. Let's see. Like here, let me put these on real quick, just for the sake of showing. So you could see like here, like on GJ, even though this is going to not technically be my session, it's a little bit before my session. So you see you have the Asian, it breaks up and pulls back down. Well, clearly the move is it's going up. So in here, I would be looking for a reason to get long. Maybe this candle, maybe there's something in this consolidation with divergence that I see that I can get in. But basically, you want to see it hold a level and then get an entry on like a breakout and get a stop below. So even if you were to like take this candle close and say you're in here and then your stop is below here. So say even if you took a 40 pip stop, there's 100 and that's 3R. I only need 2R. I only need 80 pips. So it's that simple. Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy specific. You want to see it hold a level in case of a rise. You want to see it hold and then kind of break out of that consolidation and then just get a stop below it because you know that if it is indeed going up, it's going to at least come back and test this high. It has to. It has to. And that's exactly what it did. Pinned to it through 15 minutes of consolidation and then drove through it because the trend is up. So as long as you're staying with the trend and you're taking it at a pullback and a key level, get your stop below the zone and get a buy, kind of breaking out. And it doesn't have to be anything more complicated than that. Keep it simple, stupid, 100%. And it's hard. It's the easiest thing to do. It's also the hardest thing to do. Sometimes the easy things are hard because we want to overcomplicate trading, but trading isn't complicated. If I was to, you know, show this to like a 7-year-old and I say, hey, which way are these candles going? Do these look like they're going up or they look like they're going down? They go, oh, it looks like it's going up. If a 7-year-old can tell you the direction, then we should be able to know the direction. And you just keep trading with it. And if you lose going with the direction, then you should be happy because you're at least going with what the market's telling you and you're not putting your own bias on it and your own belief and saying, oh, well, the market could be doing this or should be doing this. If you just stay with the trend, more times than not, you're going to probably find yourself in a profitable setup. All right, it's 9:30, just about another 2 minutes. Let's see where we're at. EU pushing to the top of this range. Now here we go. You can see this kind of breaking up. Divergent bottom. Now it's kind of up, consolidate. Now you're getting this strong push. Doesn't look great for shorts, but let's see what happens. Let's see if it holds here. Holds this trend line. And if not, if it breaks above the trend line, then you might see it come back, retest it, and potentially push higher to continue this kind of momentum that it's using. We'll just wait and see. The market always tells you what it's doing first. And if you're patient enough to wait for it, then you're going to be all right. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, out of range today. But this is, you can see this 5-minute. You might be trying to do like a reset here on this 5-minute. See, again, you have a low point here on the RSI and a structure low, but then structure comes lower, but the RSI comes higher. So that's a resistance. That's like, this divergence. It's saying that it's weak. It's saying that this bottom is weak, and you can see all these pins. So now it starts pushing, and now you get up, and just like it's fractal. Like if I was to, cover this right here where it says 5-minute, and you don't look at that. You just look at structure for structure. It's fractal, right? So it comes up, consolidates, bullish engulfing, and then it's just kind of like a flag What do you anticipate? Down? No, this thing is clearly coming up. So now it's pushing higher. Now, as you get into this level, you want to see, does it push higher? Does it resist? But right now, clearly off of this divergence, it's moving higher. If you can consolidate, you might see another push to the upside. So again, that's against the trend that I want to trade, preferably because the market's still in a downtrend. But again, with how much momentum we have had, specifically on EA to the downside, you know, days and days and days on end. Let's go to a higher time frame. Let's get out of here. You can see clearly it's in a downtrend and you want to come and retest this. That doesn't mean that today is the day. You could get this kind of two candle bearish engulfing, people would call that, because it engulfs this whole structure. Drop, consolidate, drop. Maybe you see a little consolidation before drop. Could be days, could be, who knows? It could be 2 days, could be 1 day, could be today it drops. You don't know. You wait for the market to give you a clear signal and then you follow the trend. I don't want to go against the trend. I lose all my trades. All of my trades, 100% of losses I take are counter trend. I can't say never, but I rarely ever lose a trade that I take in trend. All of my losses come when I'm trying to tell the market that it's going a different way. So that's why I don't do it anymore. Just not going to do it. Yeah, see? Hitting this trend line, getting some. We'll see. It's definitely definitely interesting. And again, 15 minutes until that Euro conference speaker, whatever it might be. See if we can get a little bit of info on it. Due to testify at a virtual hearing before European Parliament Economic and Monetary Affairs Committee via satellites. Yeah, I mean, it could certainly move the market if he says anything, and I'm sure he will say something, but how it affects the market, I don't know. Let's see. I got to remember where my picture is on this so I'm not blocking it when I'm showing you guys charts. So I try and keep it more full screen so you can see it. But yes, still in this, kind of descending channel, hitting this trend line. And now trend lines aren't the end all be all. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just, you're trying to graph structure and try and contain it. But we'll see what happens. It's still in a downtrend. I still want to see this come down. Let's look at some other pairs. Everything else is really choppy. AU just kind of chopping along. You could see this put like kind of up, consolidate, maybe more up, but it's still within this box. So until it breaks this box, it's really no point in me looking at it. Same with EU. GJ down. Let's see what the 30-minute looks like. Let's get a little bit more space on this. Trying to find like some levels. Yeah. Pound moving up. Let's see what the dollar index is doing. Dollar index is gonna fall, so you might see this come up. We'll see. We'll see. Probable to come higher. I would like to see it come up and then like retest and then try and catch the next move up. Oh, Lagarde is a she. I meant earlier. Yeah, I'm ignorant on that. That's my bad, but I appreciate the heads up. I'll know that from now on. It shows you how patriarchal our society is. You see president, you just assume it's a guy. It's terrible. All I know is candles. That's it. And how to read a chart. I'm not good at any other macroeconomic news or any of that stuff. I just get on, I say, what's the chart doing? I just trade it that way. Yeah, I like this holding, but just slow. Just typical Monday. Just a slow Monday. Now, see, I do like this though. I like how you're kind of consolidated and then like you push down, but then you're pushing right back up. So again, I'd like to see it kind of break out of this box, out of this range, so to speak, and then maybe try and come test these highs. Still, it's clearly an uptrend. Why would I say sell just because one candle broke down? I don't think that's fair, and I think that's how people get caught, you know. But you want to stay with it. Yeah, I do like this on AU, even though it's kind of in this range. I do like how it's kind of come up and it's using this as like a support to come higher, but it could easily just keep chopping. But I do like this to the upside. I like AU, EU, move higher, GU, move higher, EA. I just want to stay with this trend. What's up, pup? You guys looking at anything? Is there anything that you guys are looking at? Or is everybody kind of in the same mindset? It's just kind of choppy right now. Yeah. See this right here? How it's kind of come up, holding, and now you're starting to drive. You might see it try and come back and retest these lows. Let's see, watching ECAD for a short. And we got looking to hold uptrend on NU. Yeah, I mean, dollar quote pairs definitely look like they want to come up. And this right here on GJ, see this candle? This to me looks like when it closes in 30 seconds, if it closes strong, you might see more bearish momentum to at least come down like and check this. But we'll see because it's definitely showing resistance, but it appears as if it's come up and now it's like kind of consolidating and trying to come lower. Nasty, just ugly. Let's see what this looks like. We'll see. Let's take a look at Eurocad while we're chilling out. Potential short, yeah. You could definitely see that. You got nice divergence here, trying to come lower. Divergence on a 5 minute. Yeah, I definitely see what you're looking at. Let's take a look at the higher time frames. Looks like chop. Once you come to the daily, it just looks like chop. But it's definitely plausible. You're, on this TDI here, you're definitely in a sell zone. You're definitely underneath a liquid 50 and a trend line. I mean, I wouldn't want to buy it. I'd either not trade it or look for a short at the moment. Probably, I'd say, for me, I'd probably say not trade it, but you could have a breakout. You don't know. Definitely interesting. See how that closes. Yeah, euro pinned down to the open of this candle. And within these last couple minutes, it's pushing up. See how that candle closes. Can't tell anything until the candle's fully closed. Yeah, the high time frames. I just like to look at it just to kind of get an overall sense of where we are in the market, because if you can get more confluences, then just helps with your trade. Forrest is saying resistance. Let's take a look at NU. So you're looking for the trend. You're seeing resistance at 34. Yeah. Yeah, because you could see you're definitely, it's in this, it's the same as AU and EU, where you're just in this kind of, the whole thing's just in a range. Now you can just go like this, you know, like that. This candle breaks, and then just from there it's just chopping. So same thing with AU and EU and GU. Like I'm looking at break this consolidation, retest this consolidation, and then if it shows bull momentum, get long. Do I ever look for trendline breaks or strictly conventional support and resistance zones? I definitely use trendline breaks. Let me see if I have anything. I just erased a lot of my drawings. But you could see like this descending channel, if it breaks this, comes back and tests it, and then shows me bullish momentum, I could consider a buy then, potentially, um, if I wanted to go against the trend, um, to maybe then the next, you know, structure high. What would it be like? Maybe this area here, like the top of this box, maybe comes back to the 200 up here, so you could be looking at maybe a 40 something pip move. You don't want to see it like kind of break, retest, show support, and then bounce. So yeah, I mean, I have a lot of different strategies. I like to look for just like really clear and obvious reasons for entering a trade. It's holding this structure and then it breaks out, or it's broken down and now it's retesting a previous area. I want to get back short and try and at least test this bottom, or I want to get lower than this bottom while maintaining a higher RSI, because that's how you show divergence. So I want to get equal to or lower than here. So when it comes back up here, I look for a short. Just really clear and obvious. Is it clear and obvious? Is it simple? Just really trying to keep it as simple as possible and not overcomplicate it. The feel, and now here comes C. We were just saying GJ short, and now look at this. Just held it. Came up, held it on the consolidation. Now it's driving. Interesting. It's very interesting. 5 minute break in the 50 potentially. You could see this right here, an entry here and a stop here. Call it 20 pips to try and go get 40. That's interesting. Let's zoom in on this. still within this structure a little bit. That's not a bad candle, honestly, because I want to stay with trend, and GJ's been in an uptrend. It's not the worst, but I don't know if I'm feeling that saucy on a Monday. But that's not bad. I like how it's, it comes up, kind of flags, more rejection to the downside, then kind of tries to break this. If it had broke it stronger, maybe I would have considered it. But it's holding this 21-2 on the 15-minute. I'm gonna stay out of it, but that's not terrible. I'll see how it reacts. Because let's look, and now it's 9:45, so you're gonna have this uh, speaker speaking, and this too on EA. You see this? How it's up, consolidate, and you get this strong bull candle, breaks to 50, and now you're getting a little bit of like kind of consolidation. I wonder if it's gonna hold. I wonder if it's gonna hold this level and move off it. Curious to see what happens. Because let me see if I look down here. I don't know. I still like it short. I still want to stay short on it. Just might not be a trading day today, and that's cool. I don't ever want to start my week off on a losing note. That just sucks. Yeah, you can see we're still divergent here. Just not. See, if you want to get close and say like, oh, it's not because it's technically higher. I don't like when it does that. If it's not clear and obvious, I don't want to go in and try and nitpick it. It's got to be clear and obvious to me. This is still falling on the 15-minute. So that's why I was saying when you get something like this where you're clearly in an uptrend, price is moving up, then comes down, but this is like falling against you. It's almost like one is pushing up and one is pushing down, and it just creates like consolidation. That's a lot of times what I see. They like resist each other. Price moving down and or like the TDI moving down, but price is trying to move up, and you just get consolidation. But yeah, nothing really clean to me. GU. See what happens as it retests this area. Dollar index still falling, clearly in a free fall. You can just see this like it's pulling, just falling. So you're gonna see this obviously, and then you would see it on like Forrest was looking at NCT USD. It's trying to move up too, above the trend lines, kind of holding. It's not bad. I mean, it's not the worst. It's a nice little 2 candle on the 5-minute. You're above. I mean, it's likely to go. I don't want to say likely. It looks as if it wants to try and continue higher as this dollar index is also falling. Looks like we're getting a little bit of momentum now. See if there's anything released on this. Any statements? Nothing yet. Let's get back to EA. Yeah, see, there it is. It's starting to move up. Let's see. Give it 10 minutes and see where it closes. You can see it's starting to get some momentum in the market now. Here comes the EU. AU's just chilling. You might see You see this a lot of times. You see a strong bullish candle. Let me do it like this so you can see it better. This isn't a fact, so don't. But a lot of times what you'll see is just like this. Strong candle, and then what they call like a bull flag. And then again, strong candle, and maybe you see a bull flag, and then before more continuation up. I don't want to keep saying I don't want to keep saying that, but I do want to see this move higher. But it's not looking great to come higher right now. Especially after this drop off. I don't know. I really don't know. And when I don't know, I don't trade. But here you can see break, retest, break, retest, break, retest this level, break, retest this level. That's it. Just retesting higher highs, higher lows, higher lows. And this is a 1 minute chart, but it's all fractal. So when you see this on any time chart, you would want to be looking for buys here, here, here. That's where you're looking for buys. 1, 2, 3. Because clearly it's going like this. You could call this like a range at the time, and then look, breaks the range, maybe retest the range, move higher. But that's what you want to see because overall, EU is in an uptrend. I still wanted to break out of this completely. Now, if I was awake down here, 7 o'clock or so, 6 o'clock, maybe, maybe you're looking for a buy based on this divergence down here, clearly divergent. You can see this is the lowest point. Let me do it like this. This is the lowest point on the TDI, but this is not the lowest point on price action. The lowest point on price action is like pretty much here, but you can even see between here and here how much weaker this leg is, even though it came exactly to price. It's so much weaker. So that just shows you that it's moving off of it. You could look to take a right here, this candle, break out of the zone. Clearly breaks the zone. Entry would be like this. This is how I would trade it. You get your entry right in here, and then my stop would be here, like that. That's how you get 7R off of a 1 minute entry, just like that. Because it clearly broke the zone. So I'll take a small, it's 5.3. Okay, call it maybe 6, 7, even if you take it even if you take the whole structure. If you wanted to take the whole, I don't think you need to because clearly you broke this. If it's truly going to go higher, it's not coming back. It's only going to make a higher low, which it does. But even if you took the whole thing, and you took a 13 pip stop, you're still over 2R. So either way, target is hit. That's how I would trade it right here. This candle that just engulfs the whole structure. You see it come down, it consolidate. Clearly this candle breaks it. If you want to take a stop at the bottom, it's awesome. Be safe. If you want to take it right here at the bottom of this structure, then it's just a tighter one. Like I said, if it's coming back, it's not breaking this level. If anything, it's going to retest this entry. And the closest it came is that. Then it's higher high, higher low, higher high, even low. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. That's it, uptrend. That's how I would trade that. Yeah, definitely nice retracement. But you can see it's just having trouble with this top. So the money was, at the low, but you got to be up, you got to be looking for it. But that's clean. I mean, if you're staying with the trend, and EU is clearly in an uptrend, when you see a divergence like that, and then you see that break of the whole structure, that's as good a signal as I've seen. Coming up on 10 o'clock. Choppy, choppy, choppy. But you can see it's holding this candle right here on the 5 minute. Up. Maybe you see up 1, 2, and then more. I don't know. I don't want to call that because this is still in a sell zone. This could easily just punch through, and then you see more downward momentum to these lows. Because like, why would it not come and test these lows? If it came down and made a low and it consolidated, it looks like an M almost, up, down, up. Now you're going to get more downward. Excuse me. If you clear this structure, then you're coming low, and that's why I would go up to a higher time frame and be like, where could you see it go? If it does indeed break that, if it broke the 50, I still like it higher. I think it could hold this 50 and come higher, but all I can do is wait for price to tell me what it's doing, and then I react to it. Yeah, looks like it's, for now, trying to pump. We'll wait and see. I think it's probably going to be a no trade day for me. GU. Yeah, as this dollar index is coming lower. So if you look on an hour, you're going to probably see it try and come down here, structure low. Why would it not? Again, just like we were saying, even though it's not, I mean, from way back here, if you want to go back here to divergence, I mean, you could draw divergence anywhere. If you use a close candles, you get a break, you get a hold. Never breaks the top of this structure. You can see that. It holds the structure. Now it's pushing off of it. So it's going to at least probably try and test here, because why would it not? If it's coming lower, it has to at least test the lowest lows to see if it has support there to move off it, or if it's going to break it. That's just how the market moves. And once you figure that, then it becomes easier. So what you're seeing here is kind of like a reversal, like a 3 candle. Now you're getting a push down. If it pushes off and it comes through here, you might see more downward momentum, which would potentially drive these USD. I always get it wrong. Uh, quote pair, base pairs. USD quote pairs. I think it is base pair, quote pair. Yeah, higher. Hmm. Okay. And tomorrow, I was already looking. Tomorrow looks just quiet. But then Wednesday, yikes. FOMC. But today's Monday, so we focus on Monday. Yeah, you can see this is just higher, higher, higher. Off the divergence. Little 2 candle kind of breakout here. And then just continuing to the upside. Getting some momentum now. Yep. Right here. Did NU fell off? Let's see. I'm on the hour chart. A little bit, still ranging. It's just a little bit volatile. I think you're still promising. It's just I wouldn't trade NU. Um, oh, because you're looking at the 1 minute. You're still look at it like this. You're still doing this. You're still holding structure. You're just in an ascending channel. So it's going to go to the top, to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom. You know, it's going to do something like that. It's very choppy. EA, see, that's a clean break right here. Look for a retest down here, and then potentially more upside to this structure high, potentially. See, nice double bottom, divergent. But this was the move, as I said. It broke this, held it, and then drove like kind of like a bear flag. Now you might see more. It might just go, but I don't want to just say that. But clearly, this is moving up. You can see like this is pulling, this is pulling. It's like and then if you look on the, you clearly broke the 50 here. Your target is going to try and get itself up here potentially. That's a full reset, as I call it. Divergent. This is the candle here. You can see like kind of just breaks this little consolidation level with this candle. You can put your stop down here, and now it's just driving. Your target is here. But this was at, you know, right when I first started streaming, like 8:40. I'm not that ready for it. I'm not looking to jump into a trade that quick. I like to take a little bit more time and assess. And plus EA, I wanted to come down. You know what I mean? Like it's in a downtrend. I want to sell it down. Clearly, it's not. You're getting some movement now. And then there's GU. There's the candle right here on the 5 minute. That was the one I was looking for. And you can see right here is your full reset as well on GJ. Sorry if I said GU, but right here, this candle, it's literally like this. Right here, your entry is going to be something like that. You could take this whole stop if you want, but again, you just take it right here. Call it 14, 15, something like that. And then you go for 30 right to your full reset. That would be the entry. Because you can see your structure, you're breaking this zone with this candle, and it's giving you a signal that is coming and staying in the sell zone because it's moving lower. That's it right there. I would think. I mean, now you could just hold these pins, but when you're this close, it's highly probable that it's going to try and get down here. Doesn't have to, but that's, and you can see it's momentum. The momentum looks like it's carrying it down to there. So, and I saw that and I started looking at other things, but again, I didn't want to trade GJ short, but that's a 5 minute probable entry. You could see this, rejected it, broke it, clearly broke it. You know, it's worth a small risk potentially, but not something that I was going to trade because I wanted to see GJ come higher. But actually, I'll leave it. We'll see what happens. See if it would have been a loss. Yeah, it's I'm not sure about today either, man. It's definitely a little choppy. And like I said, you could just what we were saying, or we were, discussing earlier, is that's going to come test these lows, and it's either going to use it as support and continue its uptrend, or it's going to have enough momentum, it's going to carry it lower. By the look of this, to me, I think lower, just based on this. But again, I don't want to go against the trend. I don't want to fight the trend, but that's how it appears to me. Now you got 10 minutes left on this candle, so it could literally pull up and be a doji and then bounce out. Anything can happen in 10 minutes. But as it stands right now, momentum appears to be to the downside. And we'll see if it does do this full reset on the 5-minute. Whoo! There it goes on EA. Trying to get up there. Trying. You're at this level right here. But that's just, I don't think that's coming back anytime soon. I wouldn't be selling it. So you can see, I mean, the TDI just kind of gives you the idea. I don't want to say that it tells you what to do. It gives you the idea to pay attention. Hey, why is the RSI rising if price action is falling? And then you wait, and then you see, well, this break structure, and then even this break structure. So even if you took a stop here, you know, at 17, depending on your spread, 17, 19 pips, you're already up almost your stop. You only need 34. So you only really need to get, you know, I always point, but you guys can't see me point. You only need to get up to here to get 2R. And that's a late entry off of this candle. But it is a solid candle. It clearly is off of the 50. It breaks this trend line. It's strong. That's strong bullish momentum. I wouldn't be afraid to like take that. You know, that makes sense. But again, I'm trying not to trade counter trend. But if the market's giving you clearly counter trend signals, I'm not going to sell it. I'm either going to not trade it like I did today, or I'm going to buy it. AU, yeah, here comes. Let's see what Forrest was looking at. Yeah, you're starting to get that because it's 1, 2, 3 pins, pins, just like resistance at that point, and you can see like it's just again more the same. Lower. Come on, 2 screens. Just like we were looking at EA, and that's okay. It makes sense. EA, AU, NU, like Australia, New Zealand, they're all very similarly correlated. Why is this happening? Why am I making higher highs, so to speak, on price action, but the TDI is falling? Well, it's telling you that there's the relative strength is weaker, and goes 1, 2, 3 touches, comes down, still in this range, so it could easily come right back up, but it's having trouble breaking the high for now, so I would just not trade it. I would try and find a cleaner pair. And that's the same thing you're saying here. Yeah, GJ. A little bit of downward momentum. Holding this level right here though. So we'll see. You could say technically it bodied the lows, but there's still pins. It's still a lot of resistance here, but the momentum is clearly looking like it's coming down. See what happens in 5-6 minutes. Keep an eye on it. And the other thing too, I'll show you this as I'm seeing it, a little bit of education. If you look here, you would say, you know, price is like oversold, but really it's this. It's just in this descending channel, and then comes down, comes up, consolidates, breaks up, retests the level, and then you can see right in here, it moves off of it. And now you're coming back to retest this level. Here to here. Now, is it going to break it, or is it going to use it as a support as the low and then drive off it? That's the question. That's the question, and that's obviously all here. If you know, two charts, make this a 1 minute. You can see this is this, and then this is this. It's just, I'm sure you guys know this. I'm not trying to tell you anything you don't know, but it's how you can use all the time frames. And I definitely try to use them to where I can find advantage. I'll use anything. I mean, I'll look at the daily, I'll look at the 4 hour, I'll look at the 1 minute, 5 minute, anything. Like this right here to me was like, a 5 minute entry. And this, here's what you're seeing. You see this push down, and then you might see consolidation before more push down. Like a bear flag, I think they call it. Down, consolidate, down. But you're fighting the current of the uptrend. So it's not ideal, but if the momentum's showing you short, don't be a knucklehead and try to go against it just because the higher time frame says higher. Market has to correct. It's a wave. Today could just be a correction for it. And who knows, then maybe into tomorrow. But this target seems probable. You see it broke right back up, kind of like a V bottom. It's still in an uptrend here on GU. Like, it's still going up. Nasty pin right here. Pin. So now you can see on GJ coming down this area. If it closes like this in a minute, like lower, it's that's it's definitely gonna keep coming lower. You're probably gonna see it hit that 800 on a 5 minute right here. We'll see. We will see. A little bit of divergence here on the 1 minute between these two bottoms, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. "25 seconds for the candle close. Bear rejection on EA. Right at the top. Could fill it. Dollar index. That's what it looks like to me. Hit a bottom. Now you're just like kind of in this channel. See what happens. Whichever way it breaks, typically is the way it goes. Back up here at this level. Maybe it uses this as resistance and then pushes off. Retest the low. Or is it going to just drive? $10.15. See, you're still getting this consolidation here. Down, pins up, pins down, but really price is just flat across. Usually lower, usually. Like I said, kind of like a bearish flag. But also considering that you're at this spot, I'm not completely sure, but probably lower. Yeah, see? Right to the top with the pins and it pushes off. Pins, 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 pins. And now here it is. This candle breaks all of the consolidation. If what I was saying before was correct, you would put the entry here and the stop here. You would say something like that maybe. If it indeed is going to come lower. Now I don't know because I like, these pairs to the upside so I wouldn't want to trade it short, but if that's true and this clearly broke the structure, then you would maybe see it come lower. But I'm not going to trade that. My phone is blowing up today. Curious to see how GJ plays out. Yeah, this all looks about right to me. Just a choppy Monday. You can see it here too. Low point on price action and the RSI. And then this is lower, but it's higher, so it's this divergent. Let's see if it breaks it. It's like clearly like flat. But the momentum currently is down. But you are at the significant level at the low a day, I guess it is. Yeah, it's the low a day. All ugly, man. For real. It's just Monday. And sometimes Mondays, I think last Monday was pretty good. Um, but this Monday, not so much. Here you go. Dollar index. Break. Structure. Now you can see maybe come down more. Because it just kind of broke this ascending channel. Come down to here maybe. 66. Looks like it wants to. Doesn't have to. Looks like it wants to though. Here comes GJ. After that consolidation. So it could leave a wick like they were, but body straight across, you would see potentially, usually, you see this, a hold, and then more continuation. This is your target. But we will see. All you can ever do is try and take highly probable setups based on information and charting that you have seen over and over and over again. Not one day is the same as any other day, but the market does have, I guess you could say, rules, so to speak. Like if it creates a high, odds are it's coming to retest the high to see whether it's moving through it or off of it. If it makes a low, odds are it's coming to retest that low after a pullback. Like these are just highly probable facts that the market does. That's just the way the market moves. And when you can really narrow in, then you can, usually find good entries that will lead to that probable outcome. And if it doesn't work and you lose, that's why you use good risk management so that one trade doesn't end your career. Yeah, this this is like technically a new low a day on a 5 minute. And you have to wait for the 15-minute candle to close and see how that goes, but it looks good to keep falling. See how the 30-minute looks. Yeah, I mean 30 minutes. Just kind of free falling. You're under this trend line. Unless it stalls. Unless somehow it stalls out. Oh, you could see back here about how I use the way I might have talked about this earlier, but clearly breaks it. This is your entry. This is your stop. I mean, that's a monster. And that's the way I like to do it, like in trend for this one. This is a 30-minute time frame. Any time frame, I don't care. I'll trade the same patterns on any time frame because it's all fractal, so it all works the same. Clearly, you're in this downtrend or this downward structure, just consolidating, and then right here's your entry, and then this is your stop. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Go for 2R. There's 2R. Winds up going 5. Easy. Stay with the trend. There it is. Bang. Target reached on a 5-minute on GJ. Like I said, you see it come down, consolidate, and then it pushes more. There's your target, 2R. I could have got in anywhere in here. I mean, I could have got in even when it's consolidating in here. Even if I got in like this. I'm already up 1.5R. Even if I got in late. If you see the momentum, it's probable. All you can ask for is probable. You'll never get certain. You just want probable. And that was probable that it had bearish momentum. Now, from the true entry, like we said was like around here, right to the target. It still looks like it could come lower. Why would it not? So cool. It's awesome to be able to see these things, and that's simply what it is. It's a push. It's a retest. Hold of the level, can't go any higher. Probable to come down and test here or these pins, if not lower. That's it. Easy money. I like it. Same thing with EA as we were discussing. Look how close it is to target. Easy, man. It's taken me 4 years to get to this point, and I still goof it up. But as you can see, I mean, I told you where your target is and why it's probable to get there. Again, excuse me, all you can ask for is probable. You'll never get 100% fact. AU, broke, pullback, break. Cool. Awesome. There it goes. So here, let's go back in on GJ. Even if we took this consolidation because we were feeling confident that this was going to be like a bear flag, and say you even got in here, which you had 5, 10, 15, 20, about 20 minutes to contemplate getting in. That's 2R. Because you got your spread, so your spread doesn't go exactly to where price is. It's 2R. You're in for 2R. There it is. Easy. Love it. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. It's good to be able to read it. It's also good to have the discipline to stay out of it too. Because I wanted to trade it with, I wanted to see it come up, but clearly it wasn't coming up. Broke, retest break, and with broke through here, and that's why it's important to wait. Because I was saying here, oh, maybe this comes up, but I was like, I don't know. I do want to see it come up, but you just wait for the market to tell you. And this is where it told you when it came through here, and it was breaking structure. You're probable to come lower. It's not coming higher right now. So it's so important to just wait. And if you wait, the market's going to tell you exactly what it's doing, and then you can get on it. Now, I know I said that I was going to go to 11, but I don't believe I'm trading anything. If I was going to trade anything, I would have been trading EA to the 800, but more likely GJ to the 800. That would have been my trade. So I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna go get some breakfast and move on with my day. I won't be trading today. I thank everyone who was on here. I hope that it was informative. It's my first day, so I'm still trying to work out the kinks, but I think that there was some good value here. And that's it. I'm gonna do it again tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time. And I think tomorrow maybe we'll catch something. Tuesdays usually shape up after a shaky Monday, but we will see. You never can tell. Just take it one day at a time, one candle at a time, and keep it simple. Peace. I will see you all later.